recevoir vos ordres.
We're just going to have to.
Marchez. D'autres ordres? Marchez. Prêt.
Get the troops in. Okay. Now this army right here
Troupes, en avant.
will have to move on.
En avant. Marchez.
Probably close to Paris, I guess.
En avant. Marchez.
You just wait a second, right? We need some kind of deterrent against the Spanish. And so it would maybe even conclude a possible beginning against a war against Spain in a sort of preparation, theoretical terms. Now, I could send this army to you, America, but this Spanish presence here is disturbing. Now, we obviously are making 40,000 and more a turn. We could just kind of expand ourselves further and be fine, or we could muster more forces and attack the Spanish. The Spanish currently are giving us a profit of 5,000 a turn. We are allowed to raid close to their shores, and everything seems to be just fine. No doubts about it. We're soon going to have a very expensive, very heavy navy, and obviously this navy could as well be just simply sent to raid, and another one could be even built after that. In any case, we're doing quite well indeed. Now,
Votre Majesté?
however, this army would be just left sitting here. It shouldn't be like that. They probably, if we don't want to fight the Spanish, we should send this army to America.
Monsieur, vos ordres?
And
Marchez!
it is concluded. I do not expect a war.
Prêt à recevoir vos ordres? Milord?
Against
Oui, autre chose? À vos ordres. En avant!
the Spanish, and that means I'll be sailing an army to America, another army to America, and this army is going to be tasked with
À vos ordres.
fighting our French enemies there. Another thing is here, Nassau, Bahamas. We need troops to guard the port here, so that this port could successfully export. Now, in here we're not kind of exporting any sacks of beans there, like coffee beans, and maybe that's due to this. Maybe it's not. It could be not. In here we could do the same thing. I think the Marathans are overextended, however undoubtedly they are sufficiently strong enough. Let's build these things up in here now further. War against Spain would be such a disaster. Look at all those armies here at our borders. If only they would decide to fight the Americans, then things for us would look much better. In here, besides expanding farms and factories, we are not expanding anything else. Hopefully the Americans are not going to raid us. much. Okay. It looks like we have built up everything we would build besides the plantations. Or almost. And now we are certainly in a very, very good position. A very, very good position indeed. The third army is being recruited. The fourth army, on the other hand, is sailing forward. To America. Let's protect our ports here with additional soldiers. Okay. You can just go there. And we can go for some native infantry. In here we'll need some more militia to guard our ports. And that is going to be much better for us against the Marathans, potentially the Spanish, and most importantly the Americans. Okay, we can see the front line, and I think we can see the front line clearly enough even without the spies themselves. So let's move on to Boston and Albany, New York, but we can take a look at the American forces station here. As you can see, the Americans are numerous. They are very strong indeed. Okay. It looks like now I'm certainly expanding my American holdings here to a massive extent. So as you can see, I have a massive, like really serious batch of land there. Something I really enjoy seeing. Now let us expand here even further too. Oh wow, hoorah. Maybe that's a little bit too expensive just yet. So should I build a church or not? Or should I build myself more factories? I'm just gonna build myself another factory, and that's it. Obviously factories will make people a little bit less happy. That's the way it works. Is that they kind of get employed, they don't get employed later because we can modernize ourselves, and it makes them a little bit unhappy. However, that's the only way to make this area prosperous, and I kind of rely on this. No, that's not going to work. I kind of suspect that without a church, this area is not going to stay happy. But let's keep the way things are. Later we're going to build some more stuff, maybe. So basically tax burden, government type. Okay, I think I'm just gonna build here a church, and we'll see later how things go. In here, for example, we don't have a church, and things are just fine yet so far. Okay, is there anything else? Okay, in here we don't need the church anymore. Okay, that's probably the same thing with this area right here. I'm just gonna risk it and see how this will work out. Because if they are not gonna be happy, maybe, just maybe, after having a brigade or two, we'll still be making a profit, and profit is what we seek. We can hire troops for as long as that factory here is gonna make us more than the troops cost and still give us a profit. So that's it. Now in here we are waiting. Still quite a bit.
Vos ordres, Votre Majesté?
And it looks like this will conclude things for us here. We can just simply expand the church or two, and that's it. Let us keep on moving. Now if we send a good Allied infantry based army to America, United States will certainly be under threat. Then we could actually make a few engagements with them. I think we would stand a chance at knocking at their door. Okay, it looks like the Ottomans are moving south, which is good. And the Americans are traveling north of their position, of our positions, which is good. They reinforced Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I'm trying to move that spy there. But you can't. It looks like if I select the spy and try to kind of move my camera, it lags. What a surprise. Okay, where is he? I think I moved him already. Yeah, he's right here. Okay, and he's gonna try and move all the way around. Fine. Alliance broken. Ooh, no. Sweden, France. Okay. It looks like I cannot send this navy to America because the Swedes broke alliance with us. Just in time, I would say. This means I need to preparing to prepare a war against wait a second. I need to prepare a war against the Swedes. Fine.
Oui, monsieur.
If they do not need us, we do not need them. The first restaurant opens. Paris, generally acknowledged as leading city for European fashion and taste, has seen the opening of a new kind of eating establishment, the popularity of which may be setting a new trend that may yet equal the alehouse and inn in terms of popularity. A soup maker, Monsignor Boulanger's eatery, is known as a restaurant. After the restorative soup of the same name, it differs from more traditional eating establishments in that it is intended to cater not only for travelers but also to local residents who leave their homes to eat out, as others draw inspiration from Boulanger's basic premise. Further innovations are occurring. Already customers can sit at separate tables rather than sit at a shared table, and a variety of dishes can be ordered from set list rather than a single dish served from a large common pot. These new restaurants are changing public perceptions of eating outside of their home from being something done for the sake of expediency when traveling to being a pleasurable pastime in its own right. Corsica. Finally, it looks like they made their voice heard and decided to not rebel any further. Okay. I think it's time for me to create a more powerful force, and these are Royal Ecossairs. So these are the sort of a British-like guys, and they are much better. Not much better, but definitely better at everything, and a lot more expensive. And so we're gonna create an army of these guys. However, it looks like I can only field one of these. Okay, that's really bad, no doubts about that. In any case, it's sad that it's gonna be like that, but nothing can be done about this. So we're just gonna have to create ourselves another army. This other army is going to be tasked with fighting the Swedes, supported by this force led by Claude Fawcett. He's a superior general, currently tasked to move on to Copenhagen. Okay. This will certainly tip the balance in our favor. Finally, this area right here, Azerbaijan, is under control finally. Baghdad, Mesopotamia isn't that big of a deal for now. We can move our spies further east and simply launch an offensive on Baghdad now. Furthermore, in Armenia, we still have to stay strong here. However, in Ankara, it looks like our force is going to finally defeat the Ottomans. Done. They're all dead now. Okay. Let's issue a different training order so that all of my troops would be ready. And in here it's time to make his investments into the land so that we could rebuild, replace things around, make this area prosperous again. Done. This army, on the other hand, will move on to Damascus. It looks like so far we're being mostly unopposed, and that's what I like to see. Okay, it looks like there are more areas in red. Let's take a look. You can certainly be part of our nation now that you're being taxed. Okay, it looks like situation is stabilizing here. for the better. They already have a church. We'll just build more factories then. In Bulgaria, finally, it can be taxed too. In here things are a little bit different. Catholic religion is high and strong, but due to universities present, these areas are not where they're supposed to be. Okay. Okay. Now there are two of these seminars.